What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Play Action Podcast. I'm Aidan O'Hara, and of course I'm here with Vinny Jackson. Vinny, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Aidan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Week 3 is now done. Pretty crazy to think it's already over. But honestly, I don't even know how to feel about this last week. What about you?
I think we disagreed on like three games, and I did correctly predict those 3.
Yeah,
as usually happens.
Who would have guessed? Vinny gets all of his.
I don't know. You guys really should be listening to what I have to say. At least to skip to the end of the episode to get those.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely some upsets worth mentioning, which we will get into.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
actually, a lot of upsets. I feel like there's a good bit of upsets overall throughout all of these.
Yeah, the betting's been pretty inconsistent.
Yeah, very inconsistent.
Yeah, the Bills game screwed me last night just because they took out Trevor Lawrence. Like, they just took out all the starters because the Bills are just that good now. So definitely a lot to get into. Aidan's got a new segment.
Yes, I'm actually pretty excited for it.
Yeah, and I have no idea what it is. So
yeah, I'm very excited to see.
Yeah, I'll probably get exposed.
And like looking at this last week, I know we were just talking about upsets. It was very bad. I got 6 right, just to point out last week out of 16. I got 10 games wrong.
So what did I get? 9?
Yeah, you got 9 right.
That's still not even
That's
great.
still really bad. I mean, 6 right is crazy.
Yeah, definitely some stuff to get into. So let's get on with
let's hop
news.
into the first one.
All right, guys, starting off with some fantasy news, some injury updates. Unfortunately, still got a lot. Most of these are just lingering updates from the previous week. Starting off with some notable running backs. Starting off for my team, Raheem Mostert, still questionable with the chest injury.
Yep.
Nothing much to say. I mean, we are recording this on a Tuesday, so we don't really get, how much they're practicing in the week. That's usually what it comes down to. So, obviously, we'll see if he's practicing there. And Najee Harris looks like he's wearing a sling for his arm. I didn't really see it happen in the game, but he must have. I don't know if it was in the game.
Yeah, I didn't even see it happen during the game.
They just taped it up afterwards. So he is questionable. Also, Warren is getting a knee MRI.
Wow.
So that could go down the Steelers' depth chart. I think.
I mean, they got
what,
a running back at quarterback. So.
Fields.
I'm joking. He's been balling.
He was balling.
He's been
this
balling.
week.
Also, apologies if you hear something. This isn't our studio, so there are other people in this. So if you can hear any of the background noise,
that's not too loud.
Yeah. I'm sure you don't hear it, but if you do, apologies.
All right, moving on to a couple more running backs. Kenneth Walker, still. I mean, I don't know if he's practiced yet. He was doing some pregame warm-ups before the last game, which he sat out. So he could be starting to make a comeback for the coming weeks. But for now, Charbonnet's still rolling as the starter.
That's big for you.
Yeah, he's been saving my team the start of the season. And lastly, Austin Eckler, I think he got a concussion in that game just last night. So I need to keep updates on him. Let's get into some tight ends now, and there is a lot. The tight ends have been weird in fantasy this year.
Yeah, there just hasn't been a single tight end that's been like the tight end.
Like Kelsey's been doing pretty bad.
He's been doing horrible.
I don't even know.
I don't think Laporta's been doing good. I don't think anyone's been doing
Goddard
very
did good for you this last week.
Yeah, Goddard carried me.
But Njoku's been hurt for me. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Speaking of Njoku, he is questionable for this week again. And I saw on the little update, Coach Stefanski said we'll see. So that probably isn't a good sign.
Yeah, that is definitely not a good sign.
Also, Evan Ingram, don't have an update yet on him, but we saw him miss the last week, his last game last night, and then Strange came in, who I picked up the Strange, the tight end, the backup tight end, And he just got their only touchdown somehow. He
Yeah,
had 2 or 3 catches and the
Yeah.
touchdown. I think I would have won without it actually.
Probably, I think you would have.
Yeah,
but.
so he could be getting another week missing action. Laporta got a low ankle sprain, so he's questionable. Also, McBride.
Wow, like a
enters
lot of big
concussion
name tight
protocol.
ends.
I know, and then Kittle was out hoping to return to practice this week.
Like only big name tight ends are hurt.
So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, the tight end position in fantasy.
It's basically, I knew it going in. It's basically useless.
And
but
we don't even have tight ends at flex in ours.
Yeah, so they're really useless in our league.
Yeah, they're not contributing much. And then we can get into just talk about some receivers. Deebo Samuel still doubtful with a calf injury, probably still a couple more weeks. A.J. Brown still yet to practice after his injury, I think, in week 1 or 2. Devontae Smith also on the Eagles left the game with a concussion.
Wow.
So definitely hurting their depth chart. Keenan Allen still yet to practice since week 1.
Yeah, crazy.
Amari Cooper, I think had a big week, but he did leave the game early, they said. So no updates on him. And then quarterback-wise, Herbert, he did get like a ankle MRI, did come back negative. So we'll see if he ends up playing. And then Brock Purdy was just a day-to-day. He was sore or whatever.
A lot of big-name players with injuries. And none of them, luckily, are like too bad. But
yeah, I mean, we still have there's still people like McCaffrey, Kupp, who go on IR. Jordan Love I didn't include.
I think he should be back next week. He was about to play this week. But I think he'll be back next week in a big game. So.
Yeah, and Tua still didn't include him, but
he'll be out.
Be out for probably a while.
Yeah. So, not great, but I say we move into some Guess the Player now.
All right, guys, time to do some Guess the Player and talk about some of these games, which there was, like we said, a lot of upsets and interesting ones to talk about. So I'm just going to pull it up on here. Let's start out. Don't want you to see this.
Oh, yes.
We'll start out with a running back.
All right.
I actually don't have the rush attempts here, but 91 rushing yards.
All right.
2 rushing touchdowns.
Ooh.
And then also 3 receptions for 16 yards.
Oh, any touchdowns in that game? Or for rushing? Or for receiving,
No.
I mean? Okay, so that's a pretty big rushing game. And do you know, I think I know who it is.
There's a lot of big running back performances. There's a lot of options.
I think it's going to be Packers legend Aaron Jones. That's my prediction.
Oh, that is actually incorrect, but I do remember him having close stats to that. It was Charbonnet.
Okay, Charbonnet was going to be my second one.
The Seahawks, which the Dolphins, it was a tough watch. Seahawks win 24-3.
Yeah.
And Skylar Thompson he just looks scared.
Yeah.
He doesn't look experienced at all.
I feel bad. Like Tyreek.
Yeah, Tyreek and Waddle. I mean, you have Tyreek, I have Waddle.
Yeah,
so
we're both just screwed.
In fantasy, I wish I would have maybe gotten a trade off earlier. I don't know if it's going to look any better for them. I mean, they ended up putting in Tim Boyle,
who also looked bad.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they put in Tim Boyle because Skylar actually got hurt at one point. He came back into the game.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But, so really bad. Seahawks look pretty good. I've yet to see them beat a good team. They're 3-0. I don't fully trust that 3-0, but, Charbonnet looks really good for a backup running back. Geno did throw 2 picks, but DK had a really good game.
DK's been doing pretty solid.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, really, not much to say. Just wanted to talk about how sad it is for the Dolphins.
I know.
I mean, they're 1-2, and
everyone else in their division
most people had them probably winning or top 2 in that division. You probably had them. Had them
knowing
first.
me, I probably had them first. No, I had Jets first, Dolphins second.
Bills third, which the Bills are looking like the powerhouse.
Yeah, I know. The Bills look amazing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right, so that was the first quick one out of the way.
Right.
Next one, we have a receiver. 8 receptions, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4 rushing yards.
How many touchdowns?
2.
Ooh, how many receptions?
8. And there's just all
right, that
options.
I know Jamar Chase had 2, and I think that sounds the most like his stat line from what I remember, so I'm going Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase, that's a good guess, but it is incorrect.
Oh, my gosh.
It was Malik Neighbors.
No, I need to see what Jamar Chase had. Oh, he had 118 yards and 2 touchdowns. Okay, so
a little better. But Malik Neighbors and the
yes,
he carries the Giants to their first win.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Daniel Jones looked like a competent quarterback all of a sudden. Malik Neighbors looked really good. Devin Singletary looked good.
He was putting in work. Did you start him?
I did. His only good week of the year, so good start to start him.
Yeah, and like we said, Amari Cooper had a big game. 7 catches, 86, 2 touchdowns. I think he did leave early.
Yeah.
So no updates on him. And Jerome Ford has been the lead back. 37 rushing yards, also had 33 receiving yards. Chubb, he's still out for a while.
Yeah, I think he'll be out, which is crazy considering that injury happened like week 2 of last season.
Did?
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of more towards the middle or end.
No, it was like week 2, I think.
Really? What was it? Just an ACL?
I mean, I can look it up. I don't know, but you remember his knee went backwards?
Yeah, I do remember watching that. I thought he just tore his ACL, which I thought was like 9.
No, it was
9 months.
Let me see. I think it was week 2.
You're just going back to find it.
Yeah, it was week 2.
Really?
Yep.
Versus Steelers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't you remember that? It was.
I don't remember. I guess if I was watching the game, it must have been a Steelers game.
Yeah. So, yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah. So, Browns 1 and 2. They're not really much to say.
Watson looks bad.
Yeah, Watson was a pretty big scam.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything since.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, just not playing, and then
they have like a pretty good defense, and they just can't do anything.
Yeah, I wonder. What's his name? Garrett. Is he? I haven't really been seeing much.
Yeah, I actually don't know how he's done this.
I don't think he's hurt or anything, but
he had no sacks in that last game.
He was that's like the second favorite.
He has 2 sacks this season, 2 forced fumbles.
Okay, because he was a original probably second favorite for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, so I'm sure he'll turn it around. Maybe people are figuring him out though. Who knows?
Hopefully not, because
the
Steelers are top of the division.
I know.
At 3-0, we're just
top of the AFC.
Really?
Not only top of the division, top of AFC.
What about the Bills?
The Bills are in second, I think.
What does that go by?
The Steelers, I think, have more AFC wins. I think every win the Steelers have had has been against
the Bills
an AFC
beat the Cardinals.
Team. Yeah.
Okay.
It's an NFC team.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how long. It might be like one of those seasons where you get to 11-0.
Yeah.
And then just go downhill. But, yes, the Pittsburgh's very happy.
Very happy.
All right, next stat line, we're doing another running back.
Okay.
We have 89 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, as well as 2 receptions for 27 yards and another touchdown.
So 3 total touchdowns. Oh, Lord. I
don't think it's someone you wouldn't think of.
It's Derrick Henry, isn't it? That's my guess.
That's your guess. That's a pretty quick guess, and it's not Derrick Henry.
Oh, come on.
I mean, you can check his stats.
I think he did
look at his.
He had 2 touchdowns.
He did have a big game, though.
Yeah. Dang.
The person I was thinking of was Kyren Williams.
Wow. I've been
making them. I'm trying to make them tricky.
Yeah.
Nowadays, but it's still a pretty interesting game. The 49ers get beat by the Rams. And
yeah, I mean,
both teams are now 1 and 2.
And the Rams had a very good comeback. I mean, they scored 13 in the fourth quarter to, end up giving them the win. And yeah, Stafford, he didn't even have to do that much. Only 221 yards and a touchdown. I mean, that's not really that much. Considering,
yeah, without Kupp or Puka. The 2 main guys were supposed to be, I think, Demarcus Robinson and then Tyler Johnson, I believe. Mm-hmm. But Tutu Atwell He did have a 50-yard catch, but he was the leading receiver with 4 catches for 93 yards.
Okay.
Which I haven't heard him in a while.
Yeah,
where did he play? Did he play before?
He played on the Steelers.
Okay, that's why. Yeah, that's why I remember.
Yeah.
We're just giving out. Also, Ray McLeod. He's been.
Oh, maybe that's who I'm thinking of.
I think you are.
I think that is who I'm thinking of.
Is he on the Colts? No, or is he on the?
I don't know where. Tutu played.
Cardinals.
Just Rams.
Really? Look up Ray
I don't know where Ray plays.
Why do I keep... I
want to say Falcons.
Cheap. Oh, 49ers. That's why I'm thinking of it.
Oh. No, yeah, he did play for the Falcons, too. Or he's on the Falcons right now. Isn't that what I said?
Yeah, I think you're right, because I'm always seeing him steal Drake London's catches.
Yeah.
He was the Steelers' return man.
I know, and he sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. But yeah, 49ers, I mean, this must make you happy as a Packers fan.
Oh, I love it.
Because if you can avoid playing them in the NFC Championship,
if we can just avoid playing them at all, that would be awesome. Even though I think
play them.
Yeah, I think we play them, but in Lambeau. So,
I mean, yeah, with right now, with the injuries, without Debo, Kittle, or McCaffrey.
I mean, even though Brock Purdy had a good game, it's
you still hate on him.
It's still like, hey, you lost without all your best players, so
that's true.
I mean, Juwan Jennings had a game though, 11 catches, 175, and 3 touchdowns.
You should have started him.
Yeah, I was never gonna start him.
I mean,
but pretty crazy.
Yeah, was he supposed? I mean, that just seems random.
I know it's very random. But that's why I picked him.
I don't know if that's sustainable. I don't know if that kind of. I don't know if those numbers are not sustainable.
Definitely not. But yeah,
just another kind of upset.
Yeah,
that we weren't expecting. And the final player that I have on here is a quarterback.
Okay. With
a very solid game this week, which there was a couple, and he is 23 for 30 with 263 yards and 4 touchdowns.
4 passing touchdowns.
Yeah. And there's a couple good QB performances, but one definitely sticks out. And I think you'll get it.
The passing touchdowns, 4 of them, it's Josh Allen.
Is that your final guess? It is. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Whew, got one right. I was getting nervous. I was going to miss all of them.
47-10 though last night.
Jags look like an embarrassment, and Bills look pretty good.
Yeah, they just were not. They were just marching down the field every second, and the defense is looking like the old defense. Even though I think they've lost a few. I mean,
I don't even
they've
know.
lost a few people on defense, and the offense they've lost.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Diggs, they've lost a few people.
But hey, I mean, Khalil Shakir, James Cook, Dalton Kincaid, and Keon Coleman. Who would have thought that those guys would be...
And they have Curtis Samuel. I kind of forgot about him.
Yeah. I actually drafted him thinking he'd be good, and he just sucks. And they have Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Packers... Is that Packers legend?
Packers legend. Wait. When did they get him?
He pops up on random teams.
I know.
Didn't he pop up to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, for the Chiefs.
He might, and he could win one with the Bills.
That would be crazy.
That would be.
Huh. I didn't know that.
But yeah, Jaguars are now 0-3, which, I mean, people weren't probably crazy high on them, but they were decent.
0-3?
They were decent last year.
Especially because, I mean, the teams they've lost to, Dolphins, and then Browns.
They lost to the Dolphins with Tua.
And the Browns, I mean, you shouldn't be losing to the Browns as of now.
Where did you rank them in the beginning?
Probably number 1, or number 2, I would say. Oh, okay, I had them number 3, behind the Texans and Colts.
Did you have Colts at 1?
No, Texans 1, Colts 2. Okay, so that's actually
a likely division.
That was actually a pretty good prediction right there.
Yeah,
I'll give it to myself.
So that was that game. Is there any more you want to mention before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, just hopping through some games. Jets beat up on the Patriots. Eagles barely win against the Saints.
Yeah, I mean what was the game? The score at half was it was like 3-0. The Saints were winning.
It was 3-0 Saints.
The Saints were winning 3-0, and then they just
all the points came in the fourth quarter. 15 points to the Eagles, 9 to the Saints, which is pretty crazy. And then What other
The
games?
Raiders got
beat by Andy Dalton and the Panthers.
which Andy Dalton may be the savior that the Panthers needed. I mean, 319, 3 touchdowns. They said it was like the first QB to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns this year, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, I guess
maybe Bryce Young the problem.
I think he was.
People were just overhyping him.
I guess I thought he would be better, but that's kind of crazy. And then Vikings beat the Texans and they blow them out. Sam Darnold is looking like an MVP. He had 4 touchdowns, which is crazy.
I know. And also just did want to mention the Chiefs squeak out a win against the Falcons. I don't know if you were watching it, but I had it on because I needed Drake London to clutch, which he did. And the Chiefs kind of got bailed again. Like in week 1 with I guess that wasn't a bail. But
in week 2 they got bailed.
Yeah, and then this week there was like probably a couple minutes left, and the Falcons were on like in the red zone, and then it was like
he went way early on Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts just totally got PI'd, and they just didn't call it.
Classic.
So they missed the 4th down. Which if they would have got that touchdown, Chiefs would have got the ball back, but still. Mm-hmm. So they could be fraudulent.
They definitely could be.
I like the Bills over them this year.
I do. And then, another big game. Commanders beat the Bengals. Bengals are 0-3.
Which no one was expecting.
And we both said Jaden Daniels, or I don't think you did, actually. I said Jaden Daniels was Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Who did I say? I don't even know who I would have said.
You said Bo Nix, who did have a good game.
Yeah, Broncos ruined my parlay.
But
it's destroying the Bucks somehow.
Yeah. So, a lot of big games this week. But I say we move into some player comparisons now. So let's get to it. All right. So I got some player comparisons. And your job for this is easy. It's no trivia. You're just going to tell me which player sounds better. Okay?
Okay. I think I know what this is.
All right.
Is this like year stats? Is this like current?
Yeah, current stats this year.
Like, so not like individual games?
No. Year to date.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to trick you. I'm just asking which player's better. All right, player 1. These are both quarterbacks. 219 passing yards per game, 8 passing touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Player 2 has 236 passing yards per game, 4 touchdowns, and also 2 picks. So player 2 has a bit more passing yards per game, but also has 4 less passing touchdowns. Who is better?
I naturally got to say the person with the 8 touchdowns. I was trying to think of who it would be.
Yeah, who do you think?
Is that part of guessing?
You can guess, but I'll tell you if you don't know.
Is there rushing yards in there?
No rushing yards. Although neither of them would have many.
Okay, so not. I feel like one of them's. I was gonna say Mahomes probably has more than 4.
It's pretty surprising.
I don't think he has 8. I think the 8's gonna be like either Sam Darnold or Derek Carr. That's my.
You would be right with one of those. It is Sam Darnold, and the other guy is C.J. Stroud.
Dang,
Sam Darnold has had a better season so far than he's had a better season than most quarterbacks.
I think he's like the fantasy QB like 4 or 6.
I think he is, which is just absurd because it's Sam Darnold. But pretty interesting to look at. He's been having a really good year. So pretty interesting.
I mean, they do play the Packers this week.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Big week.
I don't know what your thoughts are going to be on that.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
It is in Lambeau, right?
I trust.
Is it how?
It is. But I think we'll got this in the bag. I think we got it pretty easily. So yeah, not too worried. But yeah, definitely something very interesting about Sam Darnold. So. Let me give you another player comparison. 2 quarterbacks again. We have the first one has 200 passing yards per game, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Okay. Second player, 219 passing yards per game, so a bit more. 5 touchdowns, but 4 picks. So which player do you think is better?
I mean, I'd want to say the guy with the less picks. Option 1. Would either of them have rushing yards?
Player 1 would have a bit more rushing yards than player 2.
Okay. How many touchdowns did player 1 have?
4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns, 2 picks.
And player 2 had 5 touchdowns, 4 picks.
Okay. I was going to think Anthony Richardson, but he has more than 2 interceptions. I'm trying to think of who one of them would be. Just thinking of QBs.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You don't have to think who it is. I can just tell you if you want.
Yeah.
Player 2 is Patrick Mahomes.
Wow.
And player 1 is Daniel Jones.
Really? He only has 2 picks?
Yes.
That is...
Daniel Jones is, in my opinion, having a better statistical season than Patrick Mahomes so far.
I mean, yeah, if you look at the numbers...
I mean, it is pretty weird.
Yeah, I guess early in the season, it's hard to get stuff ironed out, like, get all the stats ironed out. Yeah, he does have 600 total passing yards.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem like a lot.
But, I mean, Mahomes only has 214.
Yeah, I feel like they've been underperforming, but, I mean, they're still 3-0, are they?
Yeah.
Which I feel like that's how it is all the time, and then they just end up winning.
Yeah.
Still, so.
But yeah, pretty interesting. So now I got 2 running backs for you. Running back 1, 65 rushing yards per game, 0 rushing touchdowns, and 0 fumbles. Player 2 has 65 rushing yards per game, same amount, 2 rushing touchdowns, but also 2 fumbles.
Ooh, what about receiving?
Receiving, I do not have on here, but both of them, I think, have around the same receiving yards per game.
Okay. Well, I'd want to say the guy that has touchdowns, but I mean...
Player 1 might have a bit more receiving.
But, I mean, does there receiving touchdowns? Because, I mean, running back touchdowns don't really mean much nowadays. Usually they just get to the goal line and punch it in, so, like...
Mm-hmm.
It's really more about it really comes down to the efficiency and yards per carry.
Yeah.
But no rushing touchdowns.
I don't believe the second player I don't think has any receiving touchdowns, and honestly neither does the first one.
I mean, do they both have 2 fumbles?
No, just the one with 2 touchdowns has 2 fumbles.
Well, then I would definitely say the first guy.
No touchdowns, no fumbles?
Yeah.
Okay, that is Bijan Robinson.
Okay.
The other one is Devin Singletary.
Really? Bijan doesn't... Yeah, Bijan has touchdowns.
Oh, yeah, I guess he has 1.
Because I had him in a parlay last week.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what... I was looking at the stats, and it said none earlier. But, all right, I guess he does have a touchdown.
Singletary, yeah. The fumbles is more important to keep in mind than touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I'm taking Bijan over Singletary any day.
I mean, wouldn't we all? All right, this one is very interesting. Player 1, 50 rushing yards per game, 1 rushing touchdown, and then 0 fumbles lost. Player 2, 57 rushing yards per game, 3 rushing touchdowns, and 0 fumbles lost.
Well, I mean, naturally you got to go with the second guy. Just
player 1,
better.
Player 1 would have more receiving upside.
Okay.
If that tilts you.
I mean, receiving upside does matter, but we'd have to get into the nitty-gritty.
I mean, I can tell you, receiving-wise, they do have 1 receiving touchdown. So they have 2 total touchdowns to 3 total touchdowns.
Okay. And what'd you say about fumbles?
0 for each.
Okay. Honestly, I mean, if the first one has more upside receiving, I would say the first one.
Definitely a good bit of receiving upside.
Okay. I would say the first one, but, I mean, trying to think of who it would be, I could see that being like ETN maybe.
The second one?
The first one.
The first one has 50 rushing yards per game.
I mean, that could be ETN. That does sound like him. The second one, 3 rushing touchdowns. Don't think it's someone like Najee Harris.
Okay.
Charbonnet has... I think he has 3 this year. Ooh. I mean, I don't know if I want to give a concrete guess, but...
You don't have to give a guess.
That's where I'm leaning towards.
All right. Well, would you be surprised if I told you that the first one is Devon Achane?
Okay, that makes sense.
And the second one is Jaden Daniels.
Really?
Yes. His rushing has been kind of crazy this year.
I haven't paid attention.
Yeah.
I mean, dang.
Yeah. Very, very surprising.
Okay, that was a sneaky one.
Yes,
I mean,
that was definitely
game,
very sneaky.
He had a rushing touchdown last game.
Yeah.
12 carries, 39 yards. Was their leading rusher.
Yeah. So, pretty interesting. Another interesting one. Moving on to the next one, we have player 1, 72 yards per game. This is a receiver, and three touchdowns. Player 2 has 75 receiving yards per game and 2 touchdowns. So 2 very similar players.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, comparing receivers, you probably gotta think about receptions.
I can give you these guys receptions.
A lot of it's route running.
The one player has 9 receptions. The other player has 13 receptions. So player 1 has 13 receptions. Player 2 has 9 receptions.
Okay. What did you say for touchdowns?
3 for player 1 and 2 for player 2.
I'm probably gonna go player 1 then.
Okay.
13 receptions. Honestly, it doesn't even sound like that much.
Yeah, it's really
games.
not. And player 1 is CeeDee Lamb. And player 2 is Alec Pierce from the Colts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alec Pierce, I've been keeping up with him just because he's always getting more than Pittman.
Yeah.
But he's just kind of like the big play guy. But yeah, CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, I mean, really not that good of a season so far.
Yeah, I mean.
At all.
For a fantasy second, mostly second overall draft pick.
Yeah.
Ours was third since you took Tyreek, which may have backfired.
I mean, maybe and maybe not. I mean, neither of them have played amazing, but definitely.
Yeah. The Cowboys in general are just
bad. Not very good.
Usually they start off better and then they start to suck, but now, I mean, they still have time, obviously, but the defense has been bad.
Yeah.
They scored -1 fantasy points the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's terrible.
They're 1-2. And just looking at this game, even the Ravens are 1-2.
I know.
Which doesn't seem right.
It doesn't, but it is, which is just weird.
It's because the Raiders snuck in there and grabbed the big win.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. But, okay, moving on. Last one. 2 pretty good players. Player 1, 112 receiving yards per game, 1 touchdown. So a lot of receiving yards per game. Player 2, 69 receiving yards per game and 1 touchdown. Player 1 has 18 receptions. Wow. Player 2 also has 18 receptions.
Oh, wow.
So one's doing a lot more with their catches.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I would say, like, usually, like, sometimes, like, the less yards could be the better.
Mm-hmm.
Because, they're getting, like, more of those short catches for, like, first down and stuff rather than just, like, a few big plays. But if they both have the same receptions...
The player 1 has 16 first down catches. And player 2 has 10.
Yeah, I mean, usually, if they both have the same receptions, though, I mean, I'm definitely going to have to say player 1.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who that would be because over 100 per game probably...
It's a big name player.
Top of the league. I'm trying to think. I mean, someone like
this player 1 does have the most receiving yards in the league.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the full league stats yet. But I feel like is it someone surprising? A little bit surprising.
Honestly, yes. I was very surprising.
Is it Diggs?
No, it is not.
Because I know he had a big week.
Player 1 is Nico Collins.
Really? I haven't been paying much attention
So
to
same
him.
team, and then player 2 is Devontae Adams, who obviously just hasn't done as good. But Nico Collins, the top 3 receiving yards leaders are Nico Collins, Rashee Rice, and Jawan Jennings.
I mean, 3 games doesn't really average out.
Yeah.
Jawan Jennings just got like 200.
I mean, to be fair, Dallas Goedert is number 8 in receiving yards.
That's because he just got 170.
Yeah. It's all up in the air, but yeah, that was pretty interesting looking through these stats. It's only been 3 weeks, like we said. But
once we get to like week 6, we'll have to maybe do it again, just when they start to average out, and then we'll see just like the good people back at the top.
Yeah, so pretty weird, but so that's all we got for this segment. So I say we get into some predictions.
All right, guys, moving on to the final segment, predictions, as always. And like we mentioned earlier, I did get 3 games on Aidan last week. I moved to, where was I? Where is it on here? 31-17. Aidan is 24-24, which is basically a coin flip for all these games.
It's just terrible. I got 6 right last week. That's ridiculous.
There was a lot of upsets, to be fair.
Yeah, but still, 6 right.
Yeah. Just don't take advice from Aidan at this point in the episode.
Yeah, never. But I say we just hop right into it. Thursday night football, Cowboys at Giants. I think if the Cowboys don't win this,
the Giants are coming off a big win, but
there's just no way.
If the Cowboys lose this, then they really don't have much hope for the rest of the season.
And speaking of no hope, Bengals at Panthers. If the Bengals lose this, I'm going with them.
You're going with the
if the
that's
Bengals
one that
lose this game.
We have, from what we've seen from
what's
his name, Andy Dalton.
Yeah,
but the Bengals.
I think the Raiders are also just bad.
They beat the Ravens.
That's true.
Yeah, Saints at Falcons. Honestly, the Falcons have been doing pretty decent. The Saints are, struggled against the
I'm going
defense.
Saints. So you can just go Falcons, and then everyone make sure to bet Falcons money line.
I gotta just think about my natural thoughts and not think about what you say. But sometimes I just say stuff just to disagree with you. But
and yet it works. I don't get it.
And Falcons are home. You know what? Yeah, I'll say Falcons. Even though the Saints have been good.
Yeah.
But they lost their momentum. Jags at Texans.
Gotta be Texans.
If the Texans lose this.
Yeah, it's gotta be
Joe
Texans.
Mixon may be back, so.
Yeah. Broncos at Jets. Once again, I think it's gotta be Jets.
Yeah, even though Jets won. Both teams coming off a win.
Yeah.
Ooh, Vikings at Packers.
I'm going Vikings.
Jordan, really?
I just hope. No,
I don't know about Jordan Love
because I'm always wrong. So.
Oh, I see. Okay.
No, you choose Packers.
Our disagreement. I'm still thinking the Vikings because it is at Lambeau. The Packers usually do good, but
I think the Packers are gonna win. But I'm gonna go Vikings on here.
Oh, Steelers. Oh, yeah.
Gotta be Steelers. Steelers at Colts.
The Colts have been struggling.
And their offense is
gonna. I'm gonna have to Benjamin Fancy this week because TJ Watt's just gonna go ham.
Yeah. Rams at Bears. Rams just came in and beat the 49ers, so I'm going Rams.
But the Bears, you can't count them out.
No, I can. I've seen it every year. I can count them out.
True. I'll agree with you on Rams.
All right. Eagles at Bucks. Eagles have looked really bad, so I'm going to go with the Bucks.
Really?
I haven't seen them win a game convincingly.
Looked really bad and got destroyed by the Broncos.
But I just haven't seen the Eagles had a convincing win so far this season.
I will go Eagles.
Okay.
Just because you said that the Eagles, you said Saints last week, and then the Eagles. I said Eagles and the Eagles.
Yeah.
Won. So I got to root for the Eagles here.
Patriots, 49ers. Gotta be 49ers.
Even though the 49ers are iffy right now.
Yeah, I would be shocked.
Commanders at Cardinals. Commanders haven't looked bad.
They actually looked
They're coming
really
off
good.
2 wins, I think.
And Cardinals just lost.
I think I'm gonna say Commanders.
All right, I'm going Cardinals.
Why?
I don't know.
You have to have a reason. I always have reasons.
I mean,
for my picks.
I think what's his name has played good so far this season.
Daniels?
No, Kyler's played good, so I trust him.
He has to. Chiefs at Chargers. I mean,
gotta be Chiefs.
Yeah, that'll basically just be a Chiefs home game.
Yeah, pretty much.
No one supports the Chargers.
I know.
Browns at Raiders.
Ugh, what a disgusting game.
Not really a game that I'm gonna be watching per se.
Yeah,
but
gotta be. All right, Bills at Ravens. Ooh, good game. Bills though. Bills have been going off.
Bills are yeah. I mean, I'm gonna say Bills too.
Yeah,
but the Ravens aren't reflecting their record. I mean,
yeah, I would agree with that.
They're still a very solid team.
All right, Titans at Dolphins. Ugh, Titans.
I mean,
it's
hard. Yeah,
Dolphins look terrible.
It's hard to ever have Titans if Skylar Thompson's playing, which is sad. And the Dolphins' defense hasn't been very convincing either, but the Titans haven't either.
Yeah, and then Seahawks at Lions.
Oh, I mean, this could be.
I gotta go Lions though.
Really? Did the Lions just win?
Yes, barely, but they did.
To who?
They just beat the Cardinals.
Okay.
They won 20 to. What was it? I think 2013. Yeah.
I'm gonna also say Lions. Just because, I mean, the Seahawks beat the Dolphins, so I'm not going to be biased towards that.
Yeah, but, so hopefully there's more upsets. Not a ton of upsets because I want to get some right on predictions, but...
The betting has been interesting.
Yeah, it hasn't been great.
It's hard to pick spreads.
Yeah, but that's all we got for this week's episode. Once again, apologies if you heard the banging in the back. I'm not sure if you did, so I could just be going crazy. But if you did, we apologize. And yeah, you got anything from?
No, I mean just as always, thanks for watching, support. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and we'll incorporate some different things.
Yes.
And just keep moving on with the weeks to come.
All right. See you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.